I forgot to hit record. We did a referendum for this territory in Mali. Yeah, that's pretty much all you missed, was that we held a referendum and the Tuareg people in Mali, since they're AI, I had to roll a dice for them, and they voted for independence. So they are an independent country now. I think it'll show as them being owned by France and Nigeria, but in the game now, they should be free. And yeah, I desynced again, so that's cool. It was very, very sad. Okay, yeah, this actually works. I can pull up the save this way. Okay. Yeah, this is not that anymore. This is all, this is independent now. It's called Tuareg, which is the name of the people anyway. So, that was after a civil war. I think you guys had noticed that last time. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. I barely noticed it, to be honest. But France intervened on behalf of Mali, and they sent intervention forces. Nigeria and several other African countries sent forces against them for Tuareg. They signed a ceasefire. Then they agreed to hold a referendum, and the referendum said they were going to get independence. There was like a 10% chance, and they got independence. So that's what they got. The magic dice have spoken. But, alright. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen,
There's
hello.
a meeting. Okay. Oh, I came just in time, actually, for once.
Greetings.
Yes, so the primary topics on today's agenda, as mentioned before, would be again the OIC Central Bank for investments and the riots that have taken place in India, which unfortunately left many of our brothers and sisters in a tough spot. Who would like to start?
Time to do that. Okay.
Well, Indonesia can start. We can just simply talk about the central bank, right?
Yes, the
That's
central
what it is,
bank.
yes. Well, is it Pakistan who is proposing the initiative on something with the central bank?
Yes, we're proposing another funding it again to promote investments among the entire OIC.
So it's not an expansion of funds, just...
No, an
Another
expansion
funding
fund.
round? Oh, okay.
let us see. Hold up.
Do we have a target goal to reach, or
Not necessarily, no. I believe the target goal would be perhaps around 80 billion. Would that be reasonable?
I believe so. It should be about 10 billion per
Mhm.
OIC member in attendance.
Yeah,
Yes, that
that's
sounds
more
fine.
than reasonable.
All right. Is there anyone in opposition to this new fund?
If I'm being quiet, it's because I'm focusing on the second war in Mali.
Understandable.
What up? How's the United States reacted to your recent trek for power, Mr. Shi?
They haven't reacted yet.
Do they even know who you are?
They probably should know where I am because I'm gonna be soon in power, but I can probably introduce myself to him soon. If he needs some, advice. Or like not advice, but I get to know me, basically.
Right. And the Republican Party appears to be leading in many local early polling data from the United States. And so what policies do you plan to take up in response to any Republican or Democrat president from the United States?
Well, if we have Mitt Romney is a staunch anti-China. We get it so much already. And if he is in power or becomes president, then we have to adjust to realities.
Do you think that you would explore a more anti-American stance?
Yes. In that regard, yes.
And what would that look like exactly?
Well, right now, I don't know if you have seen it, but Japan has recently also made some comments about purchasing the Diao Islands to make them into China, to make them into Japan proper, and that has of course sparked our response with a exercise, a naval exercise, and the Americans have sent, as far as I was informed by Japan, a carrier fleet already. So in that case, we will probably react by, speaking out about American aggression and American blatant, how should I say? They seem to support imperialism by Japan, which Japan is conducting in Asia and in Africa, and we will basically call them out for that, supporting imperialism.
And do you think, so you would align yourself with many of this, I would say, new idealism it's really prominent in Africa that colonialism and imperialism hasn't died, it's only simply evolved.
Yes, we support that statement fully.
I see.
We've seen it also with France. There's something going on right now where we and Russia will put some sort of reaction to France should France embargo Congo for withdrawing their resource rights to the French. And our first response is looking like our first response will be to put military sanctions upon France in an effort to slow and hurt their military production. This response will be happening, but right now we have a wait and see approach. But there will be joint Russian-Chinese action against this if this should happen as well.
And how does China and Russia and the collection of BRICS react to the recent French intervention in Mali?
I haven't spoken yet with other BRICS members, but Russia is really concerned. Seeing this also as a blatant move of imperialism. My people are striking for whatever reason. Great. Anyway, they want bigger. I mean, I promised them bigger pensions, so they get it. Anyway, the Russians are concerned, and we will react. There will be a reaction. I'm gonna speak with Mr. Putin once I'm in power, and then China and Russia hopefully will work together to curb imperialism in Africa.
Well, that could be quite the interesting effort. And will China be officially recognizing the Tuareg people and the Tuareg nation that has been officiated through local referendum within Mali? Or is your stance still that is Mali territory?
Well, China's pragmatic. We saw that Mali was led by a group of Salafists, which we are not supporting. So we would welcome the Tuareg regime, not the regime, but the Tuareg people, as they have a lot more tame ideology than the Salafists. So China is intending to recognize that, yes?
Yeah, fair enough. Well, we hope that the Tuareg people in China can both peacefully cooperate in the world, and hopefully their newfound independence will be recognized by more major powers around the world. I think that currently mainly only African nations have observed it and recognized it as legitimate. So
Of course.
hopefully they will be represented within bodies such as the United Nations and other international forums.
China will certainly push for that. Certainly, but it's we already foresee problems with with France in that matter. But we will see. We will see.
Yeah. Yes. Well, the French assertion over the Francosphere is obviously, I could understand it being concerning to many global leaders.
Yes. On that note, China's also right now working on the stealth frigates.
Oh, are they? What makes them stealth?
Well, it makes them. They have a special coating similar to stealth planes, which how should I explain this? Because my translation and my Chinese, my English is not that good. But Chinese is easier to explain. But basically, they're stealthy and with a special coating, and that makes them nearly invisible on radar, and therefore harder to lock on, harder to spot.
And is this technology that... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we're also thinking of creating an entirely new fleet, which will be called the Ghost Fleet, which is entirely composed of stealth frigates and corvettes.
Interesting. And is this technology something that was domestically developed within China, or was this possibly taken from other alternative sources? Okay.
This was completely domestical. China's in the forefront on those matters, in our opinion at least. We know America might be also pursuing that technology, but I believe that China is one of the leading nations that has this technology right now, or only.
And would this
maybe United
technology
States
have any civilian applications, or would this purely be military?
As of now, it's only military.
I see.
There's some implications that could lead to suits that could make one nearly invisible, but it's just future talk. This is not something that is practical right now. And it could have civilian applications, maybe in the police, but military right now is the only use case.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, Mr. Shi, I'm sure that you're a very busy man, so
yes.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you. I thank you for your interview.
Yes, of course. It was my pleasure. My pleasure.
I hope it will be it will put China in a good light. Your edit.
Yes.
Or
Oh,
audit.
yes. It will likely be completely unedited, my good sir. Our viewers take pride in our transparency, so we try to unedit it as much as we can.
I understand, but you could maybe. Well, never mind. Never
You
mind.
want us to edit out the stealth technology and the Navy fleet stuff and all the other.
Yes, that.
That's something that you
no,
want.
I mean. No, I mean, you could send it. We have no issue. I mean, China will present that when the first ship of that is actually built, but to the world. But I mean, I don't believe I said anything that would be censored in our country. Or well, edited in our country. We don't do censorship. We just do editing in our country for the viewer experience, of course.
Yes, for it to be more digestible to the common person, of course.
Yes, the simple farmer in China is a hardworking man. They have no time to read about all the technical stuff, so we just make it more digestible and readable for the wider audience.
I see. And do you intend to put money towards programs to increase literacy in China, or are you just hoping that maybe the farmers will adhere to more government forums?
No, China is already working. When I'm in power, I promised them more pensions, which they will get. I promised them an increase in healthcare, so everybody can get a doctor. I promised more or cheaper prices for the cost of living as well, and there will be a lot of subsidizing of the business in China, be it agricultural or service orientated.
I see. And is China planning to acquisition private companies for this?
As of now, we choose to have no comment on this.
Fair enough.
This is still in planning for when I'm in power.
Of course, you're not even the chairman yet, so we could assume
Yes,
this is just.
This is I'm just the chairman of the Communist Party right now, but not the premier of China.
Fair enough. What's up, Nefets? Okay, what's going on in Europe? I'm gonna go eavesdrop. Japan raises funding for jacks. Oh my god, is there a space race? Holy shit. New space race. Okay, what's that?
On another unifying matter, the island of Cyprus is now whole again.
Holy shit.
Lovely. Let me look at
This
my
is
map.
a
Cyprus is
pre-Greek
full,
conflict resolution agreement that happened between Ankara and Athens, where we agreed that we would work towards a unified Cyprus once again.
Yes.
And we would like to ask the British for the help us demilitarize the DMZ as well as returning the southern area of Cyprus that is currently used as a military staging area.
We think this is more than fair. We would also join this Turkish request, of course.
Yes. We
Yeah, like,
believe that the use of
who's on
Berlin
200%
force-based acrodities outdated. Cyprus home and a member of.
Wonderful.
Lovely. I would like to congratulate all of you, gentlemen,
Just make sure you don't give it to Northern Cyprus.
for this historical arrangement.
Beautiful.
All right.
Truly a wondrous, monumental occasion.
It is a bold move indeed.
Yes.
And that sends shockwaves through the international community.
If only the fighters of Pakistan could reach Chinese Taipei. I promise you, if we would be able to license some strategic bombers to reach the filthy Chinese Taipei, we would be willing to bomb them for you.
No. Even if I want that, we can't give you the tech. And secondly, it is a Chinese domestic matter, and we appreciate if Pakistan will stay out of this, even though you're an ally.
Yes, of course. Everything at your request, my friend.
Of course.
Oh.
Anything else?
No, nothing that currently comes to mind. Actually, perhaps. Could we also license a tank from you? Our tanks are very outdated.
Uh, sure, but what tank? Like, if you think our tanks are good and if you want them, sure. But we're gonna have a great update soon to our tanks. So
Yeah.
I advise you to wait for that.
Oh yes, of course. I'll come back later then. Thank you.
Of course.
Death to Japan, death to Chinese Taipei, death to ASEAN.
Well, let's chill with the death things, but
Okay, maybe. I'm sorry. I drank a bit too much today.
I noticed that.
I shall head back to Islamabad. Thank you, my friend.
It is
All right.
just like,
Have a nice day.
Farewell.
okay. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Pakistan. I don't know what to
The
say.
fuck did I even fucking listen to?
Insane.
To talk about that, my friends, because we in Tanzania also have the same plans, let's say, but I'm sure we can find a solution. We can cooperate, my friends. That's no problem, of
Actually,
course.
in fact, I would propose a compromise.
Ah, I'm listening.
My
We
compromise is
put it in the
this.
Congo.
The headquarters of the Nigerian Space Agency, equivalent to the American Johnson Space Center in Houston, would be placed in Nigeria. The
Mhm.
launch facility, however, would be placed in Tanzania. Honestly, Tanzania is a better choice anyway.
Yeah, because we always. Well, that could be working. I mean, I think the East African community will have its own space agency, and then the launch pad can be used by the African space agency. That's what
That
we may
sounds
have in mind.
reasonable to me. Now, for that matter, Nigeria will want its own domestic space launch capability. We are working on that.
Of course,
But that
That's
does
the
not.
problem for us.
Yeah.
Well, we can discuss that at a later time. We're not there yet, obviously.
Oh, yeah, of course. We are not there yet.
Gentlemen, the Western civilizations, they are the most successful civilizations since thousands of years, sir. Since thousands of years, the world is dominated with Western technology, Western experience, and Western economic superiority, if you may say so. We have achieved so much together, sir. We won the world wars. We fought against the plagues. We invented. We've written. We've composed. We did a lot. We are remarkable, and we should be proud of that. Now, as I said, we won against so many crises. And there is a little group of third world nations who think that they can end the Western global dominance. A little group of people who said China would overtake the United States by the year of 2010. I cannot see China on the charts, sir. The United States is growing stronger than any other nation currently, and we will continue to grow. Many claim the European nations have reached their peak, economically speaking. I disagree. I think there's chance to revive growth in Europe and everybody else. Now, to come straight to the point. The United States has worked hard for a friendly competitor against BRICS. A lot of nations are being kidnapped by BRICS because they think there is no other alternative to BRICS. Sir, we are the alternative. We are the solution. The West is chosen by God, and we will keep our economic liberties. We will defend the rule-based world order together. RISE will be a glorious organization between the European Union and the Western American Hemisphere. It will have the option to include Asian democracies as well. We will be cementing thousands years of Western prosperity with this move. I want to say that this will have no bad effect. This will not touch anything the European Union has decided so far, and it will not involve itself into European Union decision-making, judicracy. And so, this will have no influence over your decisions at all. This will just ensure free trade between the most powerful markets in the planet, and this will ensure that we strengthen like-minded nations, especially in a time where BRICS tries to create rivaling currencies against the dollar and the euro. They try to declare us the economical war, and we stand together. Italy has done so much for this, I would like to say. They've designed the logo, they are totally on board. France, the UK, and Germany, I had a meeting with them as well. I think Mr. Macron has arrived yet again. Hello, sir. They are also already briefed on this, and we would also appreciate if Sweden could push for this inside of the next EU meeting.
That is
got the
a
belly.
very interesting proposition.
Hello.
And further occupational assistance in those regions. Just recently, in the past few months, the Russian government in Moscow has formally recognized Abkhazia and South Ossetia, both separatist regions, not unlike that in Ukraine, although fought directly with bloodshed some decade earlier, or 2 decades earlier or so, are now being directly integrated and seen as core constitutional republics within Russia. That is a serious breach of international norms. There's been no chance, it seems, of reunification with Abkhazia or South Ossetia with Georgia, and this was a unilateral move by Moscow to further expand their influence into the Caucasus, especially after what we saw with Azerbaijan and Russian forces moving into Arkansas. I believe that in some instance would merit a diplomatic or such response from the European Union. I understand there are quite some tensions on the border as well. Germany has not seen fit to follow through with talks negotiated to de-escalate the tensions, although for the time being, it seems we have no risk within the Baltics of Russia. I will be free to take any questions or criticism on why Europe should follow through with sanctions over this matter, but I leave the floor to the rest of the delegates.
Britain believes it's only right to impose these sanctions.
France, after talking with the Germans about it for a few issues, then we completely agree with the British and the Germans. We think this is legal and a good thing to do.
The only question the Turkish government has is, what is the target of these sanctions? Are we trying to target Putin himself, as he is?
It would. I believe the most effective means of doing this would be targeting Putin, major leaders in the Duma and other legislative bodies in Moscow, and many close business supporters of the Putin regime. So I believe diplomatic sanctions would not be the most effective. I offer up European nations to impose their own military sanctions against any Russian company, but I believe the focus of these sanctions would be on the financial aspect of many of Putin's closest economical and business leaders who support him still.
Belarus is
Okay, so we'd be mostly focusing on their
financial and military,
the personal finances of the.
Hello. On the bright side, the UN will be really quick, I think, hopefully, in theory. Alrighty, so we can get started on our first resolution. Let me actually go get the US thing.
Hey, welcome, my friend.
Before the UN begins, I wanted to call you, and I would like to inform you that we got a request by the new Belarusian government to send them help, probably even military help. And I would like to inform you that this was rejected by my administration.
Yeah.
We are respecting.
Anyway, thank you everybody for coming to New York City. I believe the president and his delegation should be arriving shortly, but we can at least get started with our first resolution. And that will be the one proposed by China, Resolution 02-2010, reinstating the enemy state clause. I will pull it. All right, we invite the Chinese delegate up to the stage.
Thank you, dear President. China advocates for reinstating the enemy state clause because Japan has been showing blatant imperialism and blatant hostility against the People's Republic of China, as well as recently the Western world led sanctions, specifically spearheaded by France and shockingly also Germany, unjustified sanctions against the Congo in an effort to coerce this nation to bend to modern imperialism. What we see here is a modern form of economic extraction and economic coercion and blackmailing, and China is against this. Therefore, we can also not rule out that Japan and specifically Germany will start any military action against soon in Africa or against China. Therefore, we need to reinstate this clause again to protect ourselves from the ghosts of the past. Gentlemen, I'm clearly shocked that those countries are resorting to imperialism and to economic blackmailing, but this is reality now. So in order to protect the international order and the international peace, we need to react now. I urge everybody in this chamber to vote for this resolution in order to protect our world and our peace. I cede my time. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. We now recognize a speaker from Brazil.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, I can speak with quite confidence. Japan and Germany are regular investors in Brazil. They have made no effort to manipulate or try to influence Brazilian politics in any way. The issue with the Democratic Republic of the Congo, as far as Brazil is concerned, is a separate matter. We understand China's concern on this. It is unfortunate that the situation has escalated as far as it did, but Brazil is deeply troubled by this discussion of what happened in the Congo. This is something that alarms us. We have several investments throughout Africa. We've been working closely with our partners in Africa to assure that something like this doesn't happen to Brazil. We do not know the details of the French involvement in regards to the Congo, but all of this appears alarming. We do not feel that this is tied in any way to Japan. Could you please provide a clarification as to how the Japanese actions are somehow connected to French involvement in the Congo? Thank you.
Thank you. We now recognize a speaker from Japan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just to real quickly answer the Brazilians, Japan have no idea how we are remotely connected to the Congolese issue, given that we had no connection to Congo in any economic or resource way. So we completely puzzled by that. And we are also puzzled by this completely unnecessary, aggressive Chinese rhetoric and Chinese proposal, which came just months after China and ASEAN finalized the South China Sea dispute. We are completely puzzled why China would destroy its international reputation by proposing such resolution. Japan is a peace-loving nation. The Article 9 amendments was accepted by China, by the Chinese leadership, and we so far have not known if neither Germany or Italy would have made any aggressive action.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We now recognize a speaker from Angola.
Yes, I would just like to ask the Chinese delegate if they could elaborate. You mentioned foreign imperialism, specifically from Japan, towards the continent of Africa, and I would like to hear any elaboration of that. Because, of course, any undue foreign influence in our continent, foreign relations, is a great concern to our nation, and I'm sure a great concern to our African brothers as well. So, if the Chinese delegate would humble us with the answer to what they were any specific charges we would like to hear, so that we can vote in accordance to our continent's best interest regard. Thank you very much. I see the rest of my time.
Thank you. We will recognize a speaker from the People's Republic of China for their rebuttal statement.
Thank you, dear President. To quickly reiterate, we didn't say that Japan is connected to the Congo situation, but Japan is building up ASEAN as a co-prosperity sphere 2.0. That is clear. It is Japan that leads this organization. It is Japan that owns this organization. It's Japan that dictates the policy of ASEAN wholeheartedly and to 100%. The announcement of the French involvement in the Congo is something that should concern every African nation, as sanctions were applied because Congo did kick out French industries and corporations, which is their sovereign right to do. So we asked again: is this how the international world wants to operate, through coercion and economic blackmailing, or do we want a fair and justice system? I cede my time. Thank you.
Thank you. We will recognize the speaker from India.
Thank you. We are very confused as to why China decided to multiple times speak about a completely unrelated topic that even they themselves have admitted are unrelated and spend great time on this. What we did instead wish to talk about was the topic which they actually proposed, which we find is absolutely stunning that China would even consider this action, an action they themselves agree with, and to now try and claim that ASEAN is a sequel of the co-prosperity sphere is ridiculous. One could say the same about CSTO, about BRICS, about any group that exists. SEO, for China's sake. But China will not entertain this thought. China will not mention the fact that Pakistan is apparently lobbying and funding investments in Africa themselves. Perhaps they should look at themselves before they look at others. Be with our time.
Thank you. We recognize the speakers from Australia. Please stop. There we go.
Thank you very much, Chairman.
Sorry,
I just wanted to... My bad. Okay, so let me talk about the Chinese allegations about ASEAN. For now, we don't have a dog in the game about the Congo and don't wish to make comments that are unsubstantial. Australia is an ASEAN Plus observer. We are part of the economic zone, and we can guarantee to the world that ASEAN is not a neo-imperialist project. Otherwise, Australia wouldn't be in it. That is all we wish to say. Thank you very much. We yield our time.
Thank you. We recognize the speakers from Philippines.
Regarding the claim that ASEAN is a redux of the Asian co-prosperity sphere, how could that be possible when Japan was invited later with the consent of all of the nations within ASEAN? It was a unanimous vote, and ASEAN as a sovereign independent entity would not invite a power seeking to imperialize us, seeking to subjugate us on the world stage. We maintain our right to independent action despite our membership in ASEAN. We yield our time at this point.
Thank you. We recognize the speakers from Angola.
Yes, the People's Republic of China mentioned ASEAN's undue influence in Africa and their attempt to increase said influence in Africa at the expense of the independence of the African states. I was hoping that they could elaborate on this claim further so that the African states here can decide with more information about what sort of threat that ASEAN has towards our continent that China believes that is happening in QIC.
Thank you. We recognize a speaker from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Apologies for this not being really connected to the deal. The Chinese government stated that we were nationalizing all French assets as part of our thing. We were just simply cancelling the lease in the mines, but however, we will be nationalizing French assets due to their, sanctions upon our nation.
Please try to keep it on topic.
I was just stating this because the Chinese stated that.
Fair enough. We will recognize the speaker from Brazil, and then we will finish off with a statement from China.
I would like to again remind the body here that Brazil has extensive trade relations with ASEAN. At no point has any ASEAN member ever threatened or seemed to be a pawn of Japanese imperialism. We see no evidence thus far. China has not really provided much. We would like to ask Beijing for clarifications in this regard. The statements from the Congo are indeed troubling, but that can be discussed at a later time. And again, Japan and France and Germany and Italy are active, robust partners of Brazil. At no point have any of these nations ever threatened us in any way, shape, or form. Thank you.
Thank you, and we will finish off with the People's Republic of China.
We just want to say that we are shocked by the blatant lies that the Japanese government is putting out. Japan has been involved in Africa numerous times. They have deals in Tanzania. They are actively colonizing, as we would say it, Tanzania and other African countries. Japan might have been invited in ASEAN after its creation, but it is clear now that Japan took over ASEAN and is only holding the absolute power there. It is the co-prosperity sphere. It is obvious, and the militarization of Asia is also a point that I want to bring up real quick. Japan has made efforts to militarize Asia to counter China, and engages in anti-Chinese rhetoric, which we have seen in Vietnam, which we have seen in Japan, and which I'm sure we will see in other Asian countries soon. The other Asian countries should remember that it was America and China that liberated them from Japanese oppression in Asia. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now recognize Tanzania as they were mentioned, and they will be the final speaker. In the meantime, please read over the resolution and cast your vote if you have not done so already.
Thank you. The Tanzanian delegate would like to say, what? We were not colonized. We had an agreement with Japan that was a bilateral agreement, and that was renewed actually 3 years ago bilaterally again, thanks to diplomatic efforts and thanks to the benefits that have been brought to Tanzania and to Japan. With all due respect, I find that calling this colonization, that calling our government's decisions colonization is a bit harsh, and that indeed saying that the Tanzanian government agreed to be colonized by a foreign power is quite a diplomatic insult, if I would say so myself. And I hope that it is not what the signer meant. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will now move along to the voting stage. If you have not cast your vote, you have 10 seconds. Okay. Resolution fails with 34 against, 9 in favor, and 5 abstentions. We will now move along to our next resolution. I will put that in there, actually, first. Just 1 second. Our next resolution will be UN Resolution SE 0712, condemning Belarus's state-sponsored migration crisis. We could also speak just generally on the topic of Belarus, since I think that there's something developing there. But 6. We invite the Swedish representative to speak. Okay. You have a minute and a half.
Dear delegates, this is Prime Minister Norden. Hello, everybody. I've come back from my house in Stockholm to discuss this very special resolution. Yes, the situation in Belarus is very interesting. It has changed. They do appear to have held elections of some sorts. Whether or not those elections are, up to stuff to European standards is yet to be seen. But it does pose the question of very dangerous language coming from the Belarusian government, and likely these agents of chaos are still in the Belarusian government. And so we should sanction this terrible, disgusting use of human beings for political gains to flood Europe with people that are aspiring to improve their lives. The Belarusians are giving them a free plane ticket to disaster. We must sanction that kind of behavior, and we must also point out the gang of thugs that have signaled rejection to this resolution. We've got the Congo, Belarus itself, Iran, Russia, Romania, Thailand, China now, Azerbaijan, all of these nations who quite clearly do not stand for human rights.
That's your time. Thank you. We will recognize the speaker from Belarus.
What has happened in the past years has been a coordinated effort by the West to destabilize Belarus, which has been evident by the recent hostile takeover of this illegitimate and non-recognized government. What must happen is that the West must get their agents of chaos out of Belarus because they bear responsibility for this. Lukashenko and his allies and loyalists within the military still retain some control within the east of Belarus, and he promises that if the West does not cease their operations, that once Belarus is back in control of the legitimate government, he will enact the biggest migration of migrants to the EU ever seen in the history of the world. Ever seen. It will be chaotic, and he will enact a policy that has been similar to what the West has done to Belarus, which has ruined this country. They have destabilized this country, perhaps permanently, and something must be done about it. So therefore, we demand that the West leave their agents from this country before things develop worsely.
Thank you. It's a great question. I believe that would have been a speaker from the Lukashenko government, if I had to guess, because that is still the UN-recognized government in Belarus. We will recognize a speaker from Zimbabwe.
I would like to ask for the Swedish representative to avoid using such baseless insults and claims when on a stage, such a reputable stage such as this. No issue with you making such a resolution, even if my disagreement with it, but I do not believe that is something that should be brought among such a global and respected stage such as this one. Thank you.
Thank you. We recognize a speaker from India. I don't know why I say it like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
India would actually like to echo this sentiment. We feel that Sweden has handled this proposition very improperly. While we do actually agree with the resolution passed, we will actually abstain due to the what we consider to be an incredibly improper protocol. Listing out and stating names of anyone who opposes a bill is not a proper way to hold the vote. Such things should not be discussed until a bill is completed, and the language used does more harm than good. We yield our time.
Thank you. We recognize a speaker from the People's Republic of China.
Thank you. Again, we see a blatant display of European coercion and lies at display, gentlemen. Sweden is claiming that Belarus is fighting a war with human lives, with migrants, which is just a lie. It is just another blatant attempt by the European Union to coerce other countries to get them in line. And it is just a blatant display of the European Union trying to dictate their will upon others. We need to fight against this. We need to stand against imperialism. We need to stand against this European dictatorship that is being on display here. I've seen my time. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll recognize Russia, and then we will finish up with Sweden.
The Russian Federation seconds the statements made by the People's Republic of China. Belarus is fighting a war within its own streets against European colonialism and imperialism. Subversive elements from the European Union and the West in general have been active in Belarus for much time. We have announced to the world our findings on this. It's been like this for many years. Now, a potential coup is happening in the western of Belarus, the beginnings of a coup, and Belarus has no way of housing all these migrants from prior wars, like in Ukraine and Poland. Belarus needs to displace these migrants somewhere else, and it is the European Union's fault for why these migrants cannot exist in Belarus anymore. If the countries who are responsible for the subversive actions in Belarus were to come forward, they can easily house these migrants themselves, and a safe transfer of migrants can be had. Thank you.
Thank you. We recognize a speaker from Sweden.
First off, someone referred to me as a representative. I'm not merely a representative. I'm the Prime Minister of Sweden. Thank you. As to these blatant lies that the EU has somehow been interested in the potato fields of Belarus and has agents there that are trying to cause discord is ridiculous. I mean, why would we have interest in that? It's ridiculous. And now, these other lies, look at the two documents that we have provided. They are direct government documents from Belarus. So the world should really read it and weep and hear the fascist autocrats cry and when they look upon this evidence that is right there in front of you. And everyone should support this resolution and cry out these terrible human rights violations. Thank you.
That's your time. Thank you. And as I believe our final speaker, we will recognize the speaker from the Philippines.
The blatant human rights violations are disturbing. We cannot have migrants pumped in from war-torn countries that are only seeking a better life just to be shunted onto the borders of the European powers. This is madness. We would also like to note that Russia appears to have recognized that Belarus is doing this publicly, which is certainly an interesting maneuver. We yield our time. Thank you.
Thank you. If we have no other speakers, then if you have not done so, then you have 10 seconds to vote on the resolution, starting now. Alright, resolution passes with 23 in favor, 7 against, and 11 abstentions, and we will move along to our UNSC stage. Nobody has to stay for this. If you are a permanent member, it's usually advised to be here. You don't have to be, but Your vote will count as an abstention. If you are a rotating member, please raise your hand. Thank you. Okay, I think that it's appropriate to start with, are there any nations that wish to pass a veto on anything that was passed in the UNGA?
Russia
Yes.
will be vetoing the Swedish resolution against Belarus.
Yeah, so will China. So will China.
Okay, reason.
It's very, very sad that the resolutions are vetoed yet again in these sacred chambers.
We believe that calling for sanctions on a nation that is dealing with so much internal strife, especially when the internal strife is driven by foreign actors, only further destabilizing to the region. If the international community is really interested in bettering a situation in Belarus, they will present a better proposal than the one the Swedish did.
Yes.
The only thing we would like to state is that we criticize the fact that humans are used as weapons. We don't think that refugees or migrants should be used as a weapon against other nations. This is dehumanization.
Where's the proof of that?
This is something, the proof is all over the place, so we can send copies in Chinese language. We can also do easy Chinese language, easy Mandarin. Simplified Mandarin.
Gentlemen, please.
No, we know the fact that there are several
simply-
languages in China, and we
Russia
can send you
simply
simplified.
does not contest the American opinion. We have no opinion on this matter. We do not disagree.
Thank you.
We also do not agree publicly. We know we're considering our political situation.
This is a very Israeli response, sir.
Anyway, so, my friends, is there any other UNSC matters people would like to bring for discussion?
Yes, the South African government would like to. I think it would be good whilst we're all here together to address, though it wasn't made as a resolution, to address the issue with France and the Democratic Republic of Congo before it escalates, as there are genuine support from both sides, and we think it would be good to have a discussion. I would like to speak on behalf of Africa with the French delegate and to figure out a way past this swiftly. We can discuss, if you want, the ethics and rights and wrongs of rich nations around the world, taking advantage of the resources in Africa and those countries. But I would just like to move this onto a swift end, as I feel like I would be speaking on deaf ears. So I would like to ask the French delegate, what exactly is it that you want from Africa in order to leave it alone at this point?
We don't want anything. The only thing that we want is that nations.
Request China to not laugh. This is very disrespectful.
We would like to.
It was our understanding that you made a demand of compensation.
Can we speak? Can we finish our point or not?
Of course, you could speak a little faster.
We believe that France has nothing to seek. The only thing that we seek is that countries should not revoke or suspend agreements without any prior justification or talks with other nations. This is simply goes against many treaties and what we believe a nation should do. We feel it's unfair for an international partner that we have both beneficiaries and that France gets prone to.
Russia has a question. Gentlemen, hang on.
Do you have a lease that you could provide to us so we can see it?
Russia has a question for what France just said. If we could have this, please. France stated that they oppose the withdrawing of treaties. What is the French opinion on the Austrian State Treaty, which vowed Austrian independence in terms of military alliances? Also, what is the French opinion of the Armed Forces in Europe Treaty, which Germany disavowed?
If America could,
I would very much
say
like to
a
stay on
word.
topic.
1 second. Okay. Since South Africa was waiting longer, we are giving it to South Africa.
We do believe this is on topic, sir, because France is engaging in hypocrisy. We believe that the Democratic Republic of the Congo has every right to cancel a lease for its own resources for whatever reason it has. Was there any conditions in the contract about non-revocation?
There is underneath international law. That is the issue here.
No.
Violating international law.
If this is a lease, as you say, and
This was
then we would like to see a provided lease. If you do not have one, then you have no rights to the land in Africa. Quite frankly, if they do not want you there.
Oil fields in
we simply it's just no. It is
Please let the French finish
It is
for a second.
simply completely unresponsive for a state to come without any prior talks, without any prior reasoning, or any prior talks to another state to completely revoke anything that has to do with it. I'm not sure that every state in this UNSC wants at least a little bit of information before a nation puts out a crucial economic deal between both France and Congo.
If America would say one sentence, there's nothing else. We just want to say one sentence. We completely agree that treaties should not be broken. And our Russian partners have mentioned the Austrian Treaty of Neutrality. Please correct me if I'm wrong, sir. But as far as America and my office is informed, the Austrian nation did a referendum about the question of neutrality. And as far as we are informed, they legally ended the treaty and informed all sides publicly about this. We think that Austria acted under international norms. However, we agree with France that treaties should not be broken illegally.
A quick response
Where's the treaty?
is that
We would like to read the treaty.
The Austrian state, gentlemen, please. The Austrian state treaty was not informed about its revocation. The constitution in Austria was changed, but the treaty was still disavowed. We would like to see the French agreement for the leasing of Congo mineral rights.
India would like to note that what is not being discussed on this matter of talking about leases and treaties, is that this is slightly incorrect in its very value, is that the revocation of leases and of nationalizing, which Congo claims they have not done, and yet multiple times have actually said they are doing, so there is still ambiguity on that, is protected and cannot be done as a action in a retaliatory form, which Congo admitted they were doing as such. They admitted that they were doing so in retaliation for France's actions, which is illegal under international law.
Would we not? Could we not also argue that why are African nations currently getting treated differently to all the other nations in the world?
This is completely irrelevant. It is
totally relevant.
Dear delegates, if it was a South American nation, India would say the exact same. If it was an Asian nation, India.
But it isn't an Asian nation. It isn't a South American nation. It's always an African nation. The African nations. What do you mean it's absurd? The African nations are getting abused in this sense. Why can't nations like France trade normally and on an equal footing with our nations?
We had an equal and completely normal agreement with the Congolese state.
That is a lie.
We will not participate in these meetings if Congo or if China completely disregards France's rights of talking in this state.
If I may say one sentence in France's defense. We totally agree with our South African allies that Africa has to be treated fair and well. This is why America itself ended its treaties with the Congo long ago under the Obama administration. Now, to defend France, we have to say we don't think that France has any bad intentions because ourselves, America itself, was approached by Congo. They offered their resources back then. It wasn't America. And we are confident that the same happened in the French example as well. We think that it is Congo's economical strategy to give mining rights away and around. But it is not the interest of European nations to exploit these nations. The offer comes from the Congo. This is something we would like to say.
We understand that, but just because poor leadership approaches you as age-old nations and great powers should know better than to accept
South Africa aware that Thailand currently has the exact same resource rights deals with other Asian powers. Iran offered resource rights to India multiple times. Saudi Arabia has been offered resource rights multiple times. It's not only Africa.
Yes. You can list off as many as you like. You can list off as many as you like, but the issue that we're talking about currently is an African issue.
Oh, and because this one time it's an African issue, therefore it's prejudiced.
It's not one time. You know history. You know that Africa's history.
Yes, I know Africa's history well. I know that we helped end apartheid in your nation.
Yeah, and right now, what you see is a blatant renewal of imperialism in Africa. It's just
Anyway,
what it is.
well, let's just we've discussed and we can argue and disagree on this all we want, but we just want to find a resolution to this current issue right now. And we want to know what the French would like to go away, quite frankly, and what we can do to help.
Russia has a potential resolution that India might be interested in. India brought up the issue of nationalization of French assets. For this matter, we believe that the miscommunication has occurred. What we will be doing is explaining Russia's understanding of the issue, and then we will be inviting the Democratic Republic of the Congo to take our seat and explain the rest of the issue. In the beginning, in summary, Russia has observed the negotiations.
Can India first state that we believe that this matter is taking up too much time in the UNC, and we think that there needs to be discussion over China's aggressive actions, which we think is more important than this matter.
Then we will go quickly. My friends, before this gets toward people, before we're about to get a resolution, allow Russia to finish. Okay?
Yes.
The Democratic Republic of the Congo has, before the sanctions, nationalized no assets of French, no French assets in the Congo. This was a miscommunication, probably a language barrier issue. They canceled a lease, but they took no assets, they took no buildings, they took no investments, nothing. They just canceled the lease for minerals. It was an accident to say that things were nationalized. We now call upon the Democratic Republic of the Congo. We now call upon the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Since Russia has requested the presence of the DRC Congo, then we will recognize them for.
We would like to comment one thing. We approve of Congo speaking, but we would like to say one thing. We don't think that that we can just accept this by just saying, "Oh, they just miscommunicated." We think that that the leadership of France is not dumb, and that they totally know how Congo has treated them. And America is confident that they were nationalizing the assets of the French.
We're talking about the matter of fact, not the matter of opinion. If something was nationalized, what was nationalized?
I've stated it multiple times to the French government that I was cancelling their deals with.
In public, you have said nationalization. That is why I'm here defending you.
Why did the Congo say nationalization? Not once, not twice, but as we have counted 5 times in their statements.
Yes. One mistake is one mistake. 2 mistakes are 2.
We believe that ending the lease was putting it back in the hands of the nation. So we stated that it was nationalization. There were some French contractors.
No, the matter is a misunderstanding of the definition of nationalization.
They made it very clear again.
But to nationalize something, property must be taken, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo has taken no property.
The South African government apologizes and rescinds all its past comments in this.
We would like to state one thing, though. We believe that the French response to this deal has been extremely disproportionate. They have ended French access to, Congolese access to French financial institutions, which dramatically impacts the Congo due to its usage of the CFA franc, which will harm civilians, not the government.
Does not use the CFA franc.
We are very confused about how Congo can state that they. Congo has stated that they miscommunicated.
No, it does not use.
Congo
and then they
admitted
here again in these chambers that they nationalized.
But what I'm stating, what my confusion is, they're stating they miscommunicated to make this problem significantly larger than it actually was, and then are upset at a disproportionate response. That is an absolute joke. We believe this topic should be later addressed and other matters should be discussed. We believe this topic is over.
Talking about.
America is offering itself as a mediation ground between France and the Congo.
France can.
We have 60 seconds.
That is something.
Yeah, for the sake of...
That is no time to discuss the actual issue here. We've wasted time on a miscommunication, which has ruined the actual issue at hand here. And then is very disappointed in that.
While there is still time during the session, the German delegation to the United Nations Security Council would like to formally raise an objection to the Russian annexation of sovereign Georgian territory of Abkhazia and South Ossetia. This is a unilateral move that violates several international treaties and many international norms. I would like to bring this to the attention of the United Nations Security Council in what little time we have left.
Thank you, Germany, for the quick statement.
Russia had a referendum in these territories. They've been part of the Russian Federation for much longer than 4 or 6 years. They've been part of the Russian
Yet
Federation.
still,
but
it is
only recently-
illegally annexed. That is the
They've
problem,
already
dear
been
delegate.
part of the Russian Federation
Because
for 6
Russia
years.
supported Georgian separatists. That is the problem here.
They've already been part of the Russian Federation. If you had issue with this, you would have brought this up
Dear
6
delegates.
Order. Thank you.
While there is still time on the table, India would like to note our response and our complete our condemnation of China's decision to fly over internationally recognized Japanese waters and territory. We think that this is a massive escalation of issues, and we also like to ask why there are Chinese troops moving on the Indian border at this time.
This is simply just because of exercises. Our army is
You are exercising on the Indian border.
Yes, we always do
Correct.
that. Our army is exercising
On the
for
Indian
eventualities, and our exercises in the South China Sea is just after those comments made by the Japanese policymaker in Tokyo. That they want to buy the Diao Islands and then make it safe against China, which is absolutely scandalous.
Dear delegate, I have to turn down your volume because my tinnitus is getting stronger, dear delegate. But we understand you are exercising on the border to India because of eventualities. What eventualities are in the water in the Japanese international waters? Japan had the right to shoot down your plane, sir. We are very glad that our Japanese allies were very noble and didn't do this aggressive act. I mean, not aggressive. It would be in their rights to do so. We would like to officially request China to not do this again. Otherwise, there has to be a response.
Well, China will do as they please because this is our territory. The Diao
Then we will react as we
Diao Islands are not
Then we
internationally
react.
recognized as Chinese land. You cannot simply exercise around it. This is Japanese.
We recognize it as Chinese.
recognized-
We recognize it
The
as Chinese,
Chinese-
and we never agreed to this statement that to the agreements that America just imposed in the 70s. We never
America
agreed to
didn't impose anything, sir.
You imposed
America
everything in this
didn't
world.
impose anything. Oh,
You imposed
we impose everything.
Yeah.
All right.
It
We
is-
thank
it is-
China spreading conspiracy theories, and this shows
is
the level of
baffling.
Chinese diplomats in this champion.
India wishes to just state that we are very confused about how China holds any right to apparently disagree with a treaty from the 70s between the United States and Japan over Japanese lands and United States lands. Lands that has not been Chinese since they signed and agreed to a peace treaty many years in the past. As far as we're aware, in the 19th century. So we do not see the relevance at this time.
Mr. Dear Delegate, you are questioning treaties from decades ago. Can we trust China as a nation? Can we still sign treaties with China, or do we have to be afraid of these treaties to
You can sign
not
treaties
receive the
with
risk?
China. You can sign treaties with China. China
why-
is trustworthy partner, but we are not agreeing to
We
the
wish-
situation in the Islands,
we
which we
wish
have
to make
explained
the-
multiple times.
We must make the UNSC known of the fact that China has now remilitarized the DMZ zone. If they are doing military training, why is it in
Unbelievable, dear
a recognized DMZ zone? India
very
will now be
worrying.
breaking our agreement on the DMZ zone and we remilitarizing this area in response.
This is
Then
unbelievable.
if India wants to escalate further, then India
We
can
don't.
do it.
We don't think
how
that
is
India is
India- how is
escalating at
India
all. China is
escalating?
China is
It's India
escalating.
escalating.
China is flying into air zones of nations. China is militarizing demilitarized zones.
Now
China is
islands are
breaking
Chinese
treaties.
It's worrying for the French that the Chinese are completely inept to figuring out their own
It is
mistakes.
also worrying for the Chinese delegation that France partakes in neo-imperialism. But here we are.
We are
not.
criticizing.
We
We
do
are condemning this statement
Well,
strongly.
If you condemn the statement, then you should perhaps look at your own allies and see what shady stuff
Our
they do in
our
Africa.
allies are acting in international interest, and America will.
No, they're acting in their own interest.
America will always also hold our allies accountable for mistakes.
Then start with it.
No, we think China should start with itself. You are creating a lot of tensions in the region.
No,
you are
we are
breaking
not.
treaties, sir.
No, we are not. We are not. We are not. What we are doing is we are
Breaking
Can't find a
treaties,
good
yes,
time to
No,
interrupt.
we are not breaking treaties. What we are doing in the South China Sea is We are defending our sovereign integrity, which includes the Daru Islands. We made it clear over and over again.
Dear delegate,
Why is China putting troops into an Indian DMZ?
This rhetoric is the same rhetoric that Nazi Germany back then used. We are just defending our sovereignty in Danzig. We are just doing that. And this has caused the Second World War. And we will not tolerate such things to happen again. So we invite China. We invite China to return to the international based order, sir.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
If America, sorry,
don't use the word America in your mouth if there's only lies coming out from it, sir.
I will.
Lies, miscommunication, insults, and conspiracy theories will not be delegate, will not be tolerated.
Japanese rhetoric, we will engage into diplomacy.
What will you do, sir?
You will see what we'll do if this happens. We will see. We have multiple options on our table.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in order to keep this from becoming a battleground rather than just a diplomatic table, we are going to adjourn, or motion to adjourn. I don't believe that there's going to be any votes taking place, as I believe half of our rotating members have left. Most, if not all, minus Colombia, have left.
Yeah.
Thank you, dear delegates. America will continue to protect our allies from Chinese aggression, and we will meet with them immediately.
We thank the Americans for their protection
and defending more.
Excuse me. What is China defending? Its own imperialism, sir? This is the only thing you are defending.
We are defending our own country. We are not claiming anything.
You are not claiming anything. You claimed several islands from our allies.
You're claiming South Sea. It does not belong to China.
Since the Song Dynasty, they belong to
We
China.
don't have time for that. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We wish you a nice day in New York. You have...
Yes, get a hot dog on your way out. The vendor is very well known.
We're not eating American cuisine. I'm gonna go back straight to Chinese cuisine.
My friend. You're
That's probably
old.
We hope that the world will find peace and prosperity, no matter how challenging it may be.
I think someone needs to move that clock forward a little bit.
Yeah, maybe a couple seconds.
Yeah.
But
we are 0.2 seconds from nothing.
Well, it's it's either gonna not be a problem or it's not gonna be anywhere problems in a couple of seconds. So
yeah.
Either way it ends.
Alrighty, have fun. I'll be in the main GC channel if you guys need me. This is what I see, by the way. It's so entertaining. I'm pretty sure that you guys will have a whole episode of this anyway, so that'll be cool. Okay, let's go listen to Moscow. Oh, wait. Yeah, Moscow.
Members of the Duma with financial sanctions, as the EU had voted on, and instead focused military sanctions on a defunct military or government entity, defense contractor within Russia, being, I believe it was Atney Concerns, a older SAM site firm that got, I believe, merged with another company, but is still an NPO within Russia.
No, I need this SAM site. They're hurting, please.
They don't produce anything anymore.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes. So we understand the retroactive sanctions on our government as well, but we just wish to make this known to the Russian government that we're not attempting to inflict any actual harm upon the Russian government. Unfortunately, though, the Congo is a different story, as we're not able to skirt past on that part.
Why exactly are you not able to skirt past on that part?
It's just we agreed to it, and we don't.
What were they saying for you to agree to such a thing?
I don't remember.
Amazing diplomacy by the Turkish government.
Well, we're also speaking to Russia. We're not really sure why the Congo is in their chambers right now.
Well, it's mainly
It's a
due
private
to
conversation.
the fact that we
We need to, once we're done with our conversation with Turkey, we will begin our conversation, or recommence our conversation with you about the arming of your military.
One thing is, though, we are going to discuss a deal with France that the US will be mediating. We are going to take a headline on this, however.
All right, we're going to
We're
talk
just
with you
gonna
about this
say-
deal
yeah.
ahead of time. But for the Turkish government,
Okay.
we understand that we appreciate your non-imposement of financial sanctions, and should Russia increase its sanctions on other European Union nations, we will not impose financial and any other sanctions on Turkey. However, because of the existence of military sanctions, even in symbolic spirit, it would be telling if we were to lift our military spirit.
Oh, we're not asking for that. We're just simply making sure
understand.
that the Russian government's aware of the symbolic
my friend.
gesture so that we can continue business as usual.
The oil will flow, my friend, of course.
Beautiful. And we will speak with the EU about the Congolese situation, as we're not exactly in agreement with that either. But it was harder to sneak past them, as when we tried to not impose them, we were yelled at.
I seem to be very angry about that.
I
don't know
I
why.
would say
I
that
don't know why, but,
the core group of the European Union seems to be bullying every other, peripheral European Union member in the organization. I would caution you.
Oh well. Alright. Just got DC.
Both of us.
Yes, we
But
did.
dear delegate, do not become what you hated and do not become what you fought against. This is all what I'm saying, sir.
We're not becoming what we hated. We're simply stating that the
The
Diao
rhetoric is the
Islands.
same. The rhetoric is the same, sir.
No, what we are stating is that the Diao Islands and the dispute about these islands has never been resolved. China has never agreed to this treaty that you have laid out. China has never agreed to the so-called status quo.
Okay.
We have endured the status quo, but we never agreed to it.
Let me answer why. We don't need your approval. It is Japanese territory, and treaties between America and Japan are treaties between America and Japan. We don't think what other non-included nations, quite frankly, think about this, because this concerns Japan and the United States. And we will not tolerate claims against the territories of our allies. I made this very clear, sir. Your rhetoric is reminding us of Nazi rhetoric, and we will not support this. We will not condone this. We invite you, if you want to save your public image, you said Asian nations are running away. Maybe you should stop being so aggressive. Japan is not doing any anti-Chinese actions. They didn't even shut down your plane, which they could have done, which America would have done, by the way, if this would happen in America. And we invite you to calm down, sir.
Again, the status of those islands is disputed. China never recognized those treaties, and by the way, America made treaties on Chinese territory without including China at this time, which is another topic that opens another whole can of worms, Mr. Romney. But again, you threaten us with military involvement should we try to pursue our goal.
You threatened to attack a American ally, and I said yes, I would defend Japan, and I'm saying it again. I would defend Japan, and I will defend Japan. So if you attack Japan, we will be at a very dangerous situation.
Is this the point that America intends to hold? Is this
The
your last word on this?
First of all, we are not here to make any points. You were here because you requested a talk. You come here and ask us. I don't know. I don't even know what you wanted. I think you want to claim lands from our allies, which is absurd, sir. And we just gave you the answer.
If this, if America is intending to not engage into meaningful
we are not the one doing
negotiations, then the PRC is forced to make a change in the nuclear doctrine that was proposed by our lawmakers, which would hereby declare a Japanese exception treaty, which would allow the use of tactical nuclear weapons against Japan.
If this is the course China wants to go, then this will also have a reaction, of course.
It is the only thing that we can propose, that we can say at this moment, because we are there's very much fear in our government that just
Afghanistan. We have a meeting right now. If you can come later.
Sure.
Yes.
There's a waiting room for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
reintegration of Moldova in Romania. We offer you the reintegration of Bujuk in Romania. We offer you the massive expansion of your military armed forces and the modernization of your military armed forces, as well as free access to satellites. We've offered you everything on the table, not for an observership in CSTO, my friend, but for a permanent membership of CSTO. You see how Azerbaijan is doing so well with the reintegration of their territory and the very limited, opposition to their hostile takeover of this. And this was because of Russian influence and Russian diplomatic channels and Russian diplomatic engagements with foreign networks. They're fine. They're doing great. They are thriving. We want this thrive for you, Romania, but the time is now. Your new government is strong. Western Europe is weak. Russia is rising. And we invite you now, and only now, to join us. Become stronger. Become what you're meant to be, Romania. Become greater Romania.
Oh God.
Greater Romania.
You are Mr. Putin. You are, as always, a charismatic man on the mic. With that in mind, Romania will be, if all is promised, Moldova and Bujuk.
What?
Greater Romania, we believe Romania will join STO if everything is can be fulfilled and promised.
Everything will be fulfilled and promised. And Romania...
Consider Romania part of STO.
Wonderful, my friend. Within the next few months, we'll draft legislation to officially announce Romanian integration into the greater CSTO alliance, and we welcome you, not as a friend, but as a brother. Welcome, comrade, to the CSTO.
Does he get BTR-90 as well?
Yes, he gets.
Yeah,
you
honestly,
will, my friend.
Now,
CSTO allies and friends, please clap for Romania, please. I want to hear the clapping. Thank you. Yes.
I suggest you buy BTR-90 good equipment.
Message is from...
Greetings, this is a representative from the Western Belarus nation. I already spoke with Sweden, so they can vouch for me, but we are attempting to purchase equipment. Old equipment will be more than fine for a potential conflict. We're attempting to establish our current government as the legitimate government, and if perhaps you could use or purchase Western equipment, that would be great. We have already purchased from nations like Sweden and the Netherlands, and perhaps Germany would also offer itself as a...
have to direct you to France on the matter of more outdated equipment, as our current stockpiles and general equipment are rather top of the line, and I don't think it would be plausibly deniable should the conflict come to Belarus that Germany had no part in.
You have no old equipment?
We have literally no old equipment. All of our equipment thus far has been modernized.
Oh,
we must apologize. We must apologize.
Very well. No, we will take our leave then.
We have no hostility against Pakistan. We collaborate on intelligence matters, and they are an interesting partner. Our relations are improving. We don't have any problems with Pakistan, to answer your question.
Pakistan has not broken, as of yet, the closed border treaty with India, and for that reason we are fine on their relations. As long as they maintain the closed border with India, we are fine, and we do not see any reason for rhetoric against Pakistan.
Thank you for that. Let me just continue. I've been in extensive talks with Pakistan. I think I've informed many of you. Of course, we're only a minor power, but what they've told us as well is that, there has been tensions on the border, and while we deeply apologize and express our regret for the terroristic attacks on India by these terrorists, Pakistan has chosen to stay their feet, and oh God. When it comes to their security policies, I think these are mostly in line with Chinese demands, and if we close the door to them, I think that won't be beneficial to stability in the region. That is all I want to say.
Yeah, we
well,
appreciate
looks
it.
like
Let
the
me
nice
answer.
talk of Australia is just right now destroyed by the Pakistani action by
What did they
the
do?
military base
Literally,
in Bangladesh.
they just established a military base in Bangladesh.
So to react, I would like to react to a very important statement of Mr. Howard. We have, again, even if we would expand the scope of CETO into Pakistan and Iran, this doesn't mean that we would be at war with Pakistan. This just means that we would offer India and Afghanistan more protection in terms of potential attacks.
Firstly,
And
we just like to state
I'm
that
not finished. we are more than ready to involve Pakistan in our alliance at some point. And I think they would benefit from it if we expand the scope to Pakistan and Iran again, because a friendly Pakistan could even benefit from this and enjoy security guarantees against Iran, as an example.
100%. I totally agree. For example, Pakistan is reliant on good relations with Iran, because if Iran doesn't assist Pakistan on the Baluchi border, Pakistan will disintegrate again. And you've seen Pakistan as a major instability factor, but they still have nuclear weapons.
We totally agree. A stable Pakistan is in our mind. If we all agree to expand the scope to Iran and Pakistan, America will do its best to end the military base in Bangladesh. We think this is a geopolitical error from Pakistan, which just creates tensions. And we will do our best to win Pakistan over to our side. Isn't it, Melania?
Prince, this is excellent. Everything is just fucking desert.
What do you mean, Melania? This is Africa, Melania.
It is so hot here.
Mr. Trump, your wife has a very foul mouth.
Whoa, Melania, shut up. Take your sunglasses. Go drink some champagne.
I need my Starbucks immediately.
Yeah.
Mr. Shi!
Hello!
Hello! It's been a while since we've spoken.
It has been a while indeed.
Yes, it's. I've seen in the news recently, and I'm sure you know why I'm here. And it made me come immediately to Beijing to understand what's happening.
Well, are you referring to the diplomatic sanctions to America?
Well, it seems that China is taking a lot more outward approach to things, with the Himalayas, the islands off of your coast, the various islands off of your coast, now the sanctions on the United States as well.
Well,
what is China's ultimate goal here?
Well, China is opening up avenues to or making ways for us to react in the future if anything happens in the future, as well as the diplomatic sanctions on America were because they repeatedly compared us to Adolf Hitler, which you may agree is inflammatory and insulting.
I see. Yeah, I could understand that. Do you not see any equivalencies between what you may be claiming and what Adolf Hitler claimed in the early stages of his tyranny?
No. Are you implying that as well, reporter?
No, of course, Chairman. Of course not. What we're simply... I know exactly what city I'm in, but I'm simply just inquiring if that's what the United States was saying.
Yes, they were saying that.
I see.
But they were also outright saying that we behave like Hitler, and they see us like Hitler right now in our rhetoric, which we not agree with.
What did China say in response?
Well, that is utterly ridiculous, and that we are just trying to assert our territorial claims. We repeatedly said to America that the Diao Islands are Chinese territory. That we don't recognize the agreement that America made with Japan in the 70s about that, and that we never recognized the ownership of Japan over the islands at all. We also said that we will not agree with any aggression towards Asian. We compared Asian to the prosperity sphere. We called out Japan for any for production of offensive capabilities, and weaponizing Asian for the against China, and using them as a not only diplomatic launching pad, but also as a possible military staging ground against the People's Republic. And America was just dismissive and told us that they are acting pretty defensively. And
I see. And what was Japan's reasoning for refusing to give up the islands off of Taiwan?
Well, they always claim that it's Japanese territory. They always said that it's
not even near their home islands. They must understand that this is much less their core territory than Okinawa. Okinawa was a stretch in the 80s under Reagan, I believe, was the last American president who had been very hesitant to even recognize Okinawa as Japanese. That's new and recent.
Yeah, but the Diao Islands, they we also see they're weaponizing the Diao Islands right now. They have a radar station in there. They have 3 division station in there, an airfield station there, a naval base that is reasonably built up. They
What
just claim it's
actions
Japanese.
is China considering right now, if any?
Well, right now we are still trying to find something, but a diplomatic resolution seems incredibly unlikely.
Really?
So
do you think
yeah.
it'll result in war, Mr. Chairman?
No, we're not thinking about war right now. We're thinking about lighter measures. Maybe we try to put sanctions upon Japan. Maybe we try to blockade the island, which, I mean, yeah, would be war, but it's difficult to resolve a issue that when the other side is completely unwilling to negotiate those terms.
Oh, I could understand. Well, perhaps China could seek a mediator, and hopefully the world can assist in bringing peace, or at least kicking the can of any kind of conflict with the United States down the road a bit. But
yeah, we hope so as well.
Well, thank you for your time in Beijing, Mr. Chairman. Hopefully,
thank you.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Good luck.
Jay?
Yes.
What's up, gangsters? It's the MI double tizzle. I love people. I love Lane. I was born and raised here. I love this state.
China is demanding territory currently very openly from all its neighbors, to be fucking honest, sir. And as long as Yugoslavia wishes an alignment with China, we respect it. And this means that this in our eyes it means so. And this means that China is prioritized over Europe and over America. Live with the consequences. I really hated to repeat myself, but for you I'm doing it for the 5th time. As long as the military base is there from China, a hostile nation, we can sadly not engage into deeper dialogue or action in favor of Yugoslavia. We want to do it. We think that your nation has a lot of potential, and America has changed its view upon you very much since Obama. But we cannot tolerate Chinese aggression, especially not in Europe. So, did India? I'm very sure that India invested a lot in you.
Yes, India
as an ally. You see, so we are with you. Even America invested in you.
Did you demand from India to invest in us? While you're trying to make it like every other nation is a puppet of the USA.
Where did I say that another nation is? This is complete.
You say did India invest in you, and I say yes, and you say thank you.
No, because you said that the Western world never. You said the Western world never invested in you, and I just debunked that claim.
I said you didn't invest in.
This is complete false. We invested the fucking Pringles factory in you, which you bragged about in social media. Aren't you happy about it? Then delete the communication, sir. Delete the Pringles communication.
Yes, it was great that there was an investment of around.
And we gave you
10 billion.
military. Only thing we said is that our European allies don't feel very safe with the Chinese military base.
I can vouch for that.
I don't really care, sir. America, we don't really mind, but we mind if our allies mind. And China has proven to be aggressive.
You mind that there is a base of around 500 soldiers with some light infantry trucks in Belgrade.
Yes. Okay, so you want something from us, and you asked us how this can happen. We gave you the answer, and now you are just arguing with us. If you don't like the answer, sir, just propose a compromise or stop stealing our time.
Because the solution you provide is an egregious one. You try to paint China as if it is a threat in Serbia, in Yugoslavia, and
game's over,
as if it is an aggressor in the European theater. As I said, the matters of the East Pacific.
They have threatened European nations several times, also in the UNSC. They are constantly in arguments against France. They threatened France with nuclear weapons, by the way. I'm sure that Macron can agree to this, as we were in the discussions together.
I mean, my predecessor Chirac told me about this, yes?
Yes. Again,
okay.
I respected the wish of Yugoslavia to have this base. I'd continue to do so. We don't demand you You are a sovereign nation and you can do what you want, sir. I would like to reiterate that.
I'm glad you recognize that.
But you asked us how we can make this deal happen. And I just told you there is potential for this deal. We can make it happen, but we have to address the security issues of our allies in Europe.
So you believe that Yugoslavia is a threat to Europe? Because that base is not there. That base is not there to attack someone. It's there to defend Yugoslavia. It's
Yugoslavia is not a threat.
Wait, just to clarify, you said, "Oh, you are threatened by 500 guys and a couple of trucks," and then you claim that these 500 guys and a couple of trucks is gonna defend Serbia, Yugoslavia.
Yes.
Forgive me.
It will help. Every little bit helps.
500 trucks.
We do not exactly have 1 trillion GDP to master a military force equal to everyone else. Every little bit helps.
There is not even a threat against Yugoslavia. All we did was reapproaching you, and all you did was killing KFR troops. You have killed European and American soldiers.
I'm not calling you a threat. I said international actors. It could be someone. It could be a terrorist group from Albania. It could be.
Yeah, then please be more precise. Who is the threat?
There's no need. Currently, there is no threat.
Can you remind me what you wanted in the beginning? What was the goal of this?
Some investments.
Okay, I'm okay.
And the president
Thank
gave
you
you his
for
answer.
repeat us. We gave you our answer.
All right. Thank you for your time, Mr. President.
Always, sir. We are always there for you.
Of course. You
Delete the Pringles communication.
Yeah, we will take. Nobody genuinely says that America has never invested in that. Why are you doing the Pringle fucking statement then when we never invested?